I'd like to welcome everybody to today's meeting. What we're going to be doing today is basically clarifying a few things about next steps as far as the financial inclusion centers are concerned. I think all the applications have now been done. So if your name did not appear on the final list and you didn't get through with your code the last time, then it means you probably are not able to enter with this batch. But all of that has been done now. So everybody who's in this meeting is supposed to have been successfully registered, the loan applied for, and we're just waiting for that time to kick in. But of course, there are a few updates. There's a form that we need to fill and submit once the link is provided for us to submit it. One of the key things you will notice on that form, and please, I'd like you to increase your volume there where you are, because I think it's loud enough here. If you can hear me loud and clear, just type yes in address to panelists and all attendees. So just choose panelists and all attendees so that people can see. Don't just do panelists and all attendees, so that people can see. Many of you are sending messages only to panelists, so other people cannot see that you're hearing loud and clear. So let them know that it's loud and clear so that everybody knows that it's being heard clearly. Okay. So I know that a few people may have difficulties getting in. This room can take 500, so we have enough space to contain everybody. We register for a package that allows us to have a wide variety of people come on board. So one of the things you will notice in that agreement, which I wanted to clarify before Mr. Sola begins to speak, is that the numbers were reviewed upwards. And I want to say that in case you didn't get enough clarity about why that, it's partly my fault. I didn't share the details with you because I didn't know the details as well, because I had missed the meeting where that was agreed. So apparently there was a meeting with other aggregators in, and in that meeting they decided that based on dollar exchange rates and a variety of factors, the price needed to go up. And he will explain very clearly to us, the slip is being changed from paper to cardboard, so it means a different grade of printers, and then it means more cash, it means more things to be paid. Many of people have been worried about what's the 12.5% charge, 187,000 naira about. You get clarity of what it is. One of the things I'd like to assure you is most of the people on this call are our stockists and distributors. So we have a long-standing relationship with them. Some people we don't have a long-standing relationship with, but most of the people here we have a long-standing relationship with. We will not do anything to compromise you. Everything we're doing is to ensure that we can have the best deal possible and we can get avenues to wealth and get other sources of exciting income. So Mr. Sola is here today. He's going to educate us, enlighten us. If we have questions, we can ask. I'm sure this meeting should be done, give or take, in 1 hour. I know we always have a basket and a truckload of questions. We'll take as much as we can take, and I will invite him to the podium. He's not an unfamiliar face. We know him, we have seen him, we have interacted with him. It's been very helpful. I can't send you all the pictures of how it took 10 nights to get all the applications in, how they had to open EDI portal again, to ensure that we could take the last batch of people who missed the wrongs. Many of you have been saying thank you to me. There's a lot of thanks that should be extended to him for what he has been doing on the other end to ensure that we're covered. Many of the people who are in this thing, who are aggregators who are doing this, are not as inexperienced as many of the guys on our platform here. But on the merit of our good name in the past, we are being allowed to scale through and have us on board because they believe we know what we're doing, and I'm sure we do. So today is going to be about listening, a presentation for about a few minutes, and then all the questions you have and the doubts you have, how is this increasing? This cost is increasing. How do we get out of this? I know not everybody has complaints. A few people are the ones who have said they don't understand this. I know many people are dealing directly on trust. They know that, if we say it's good, it's because it's good. And if it's not good, we will not bring it your way. So, but it's not a problem. It's good for people not to be clear and to ask questions. It's better actually to not be clear and ask questions than to begin to create other conversations behind the scene that will not help anybody. So we've organized it today. It was quite impromptu. Sorry that we've jumped in on you like this. I think it's important because we have forms that we need to submit. It's important that we all get through with this. And I'll tell you something for free. There are many groups that are getting their people on board and are charging them to do it. So if you have not been charged anything and you have not been asked to pay anything so far, it's not because those things are not possible. It's because that's not the essence of this. The essence of this is, create an opportunity for financial inclusion. Many of us are already doing business before, so this is just an extra layer on what we're already familiar with. So it's not something anybody wants to, put anybody in a box to do. I think it's going to be opportunity. It's going to, drive an opportunity for you to create wealth. It's going to drive the business that we do normally as well. So it's win-win on many fronts, and I'm sure many of us know that already. So very quickly, without much ado, I'd like to welcome Mr. Sola Bickersteth on the board, and I can see we're already greeting him and welcoming him. You are welcome, sir. It's Mr. Sola, not Mr. Shops. You're welcome, sir.
Good evening, everyone. Always happy to engage with all of us. Just to reassure everybody that for me as an individual, I'm not doing this for profit. I'm doing this because I believe we can deal with poverty in this country. And that is the guiding principle for everything that I do. We have made sure that this project is in the best interest of everybody, and we have made sure that it's going to be successful. Part of the reason why I'm in charge of the project is because I've run similar projects like this very successfully in the past. And I'm trusting God that we're just going to repeat the same. I'm just going to do a very quick presentation. And the purpose of that presentation is to give all of us very complete overview of exactly what we want to achieve with this project, and then explain the details around the loan. Before I get into the loan issue, let me remind everybody that the loan is an option. It is not like, if you don't have money, if you don't get this loan, you cannot set up a financial inclusion center. The only thing that happened was that we realized that a lot of people were interested, but they did not have the required funding. So we went about to say, okay, what can we do about it? And of course, you can see that it's not commercial loan that we're talking about. We went for the cheapest loan that anybody can get anywhere in Nigeria today. And of course, we're more or less the guarantors to the loan, because it is essentially the trust that CBN has in what we're doing that has made them to give a blanket approval to what we're doing. So it's going to be a very short presentation so that we can have time to ask questions. Usually, answering the questions tends to give more clarity for a lot of us. So I'm going to share my screen, and then I'm just going to try and make it very, very quick. All right. So remember that when we first of all spoke, we said that what we're inviting all of us to be part of is to set up financial inclusion centers around Nigeria, because that is the future of banking. It's already happening, actually. Monetary transactions doubled over the past 4 months across all channels in Nigeria. And it's just going to keep growing like that. There's no doubt about that. But specific to the national ID, the aim of the national ID is to enroll all Nigerians from birth over the next 3 to 5 years. Everything to make it happen is already in place. It's just a matter of, how do we get to make it happen? Now, in terms of specific numbers, what the National Identity Commission is anticipating, as of today, we have 40 million Nigerians that have a national ID number. They may not have the slip, but once you have a BVN, you already have a national ID number, even if you don't know. And the expectation is that over the next 3 to 5 years, there will be another population growth. Our population is not going to be static. So we expect that 160 to 180 million Nigerians will be registered. And the expectation is that about 4,000 enrollment centers are required nationwide. 4,000 may sound like a lot, but when you tie it to wards that we have in Nigeria, there are 8,700 wards. So technically, it's not even enough. We should be closer to 10,000 than 4,000. But the aim, as of today, is at least 4,000. I suspect it's going to go higher than that eventually. Now, what have we done? After COVID, we realized that getting the centers crowded is going to be an issue. Some of us have been to the national identity centers and we've seen the kind of crowds. that go there. The JAM experience is an example. So we realized that we need to do something about potential crowds at the centers. And what we did that was to add a mobile registration kit to what we want to do. So normally a center would look like this. It would have, some of us are familiar with it, printers, scanners, 2 monitors, and all the gadgets that you need to do a registration. But in a lot of centers, if you have just one machine, it becomes, quite burdensome very quickly. And so we decided to add a mobile registration kit. A mobile registration kit is exactly the same as everything that is inside a fixed location is inside the mobile registration kit. Of course, because you are miniaturizing some of those devices, some of them now even become more expensive than the normal sized versions of the devices. So as of today, the facility that we're working on is to provide 2 sets of equipment, not one. 2 sets of equipment, one fixed and one mobile. Even at this moment, we are getting feedback from some people that are suggesting, why don't you just give us 2 mobile sets of equipment so that we're even more flexible. If we can move around the community even more. But that will be subject to further discussions. Of course, there's also the concern about how do you identify which center is which is why what NIMSI did was to approve something like a canopy, so that is all part of the COVID concern. If you have a crowd inside your premises, you can have an outflow outside where people can, stay, and you won't have issues of space constraints. So part of what we're putting together is to have something like this that they are very mobile. You can unfold them and fold them up. So even places where you need to go to maybe like a marketplace, you can take this there, unfold it, and do your thing there. So that way, people will know that this is an approved registration point. Is part of what we've put together and agreed with NIMSI. Now, to now get into specific numbers, because the question that a lot of us will have is that how come we need so much money to acquire this equipment? What we've done, if you can see this screen, is to list all the equipments that are required for you to be approved as a national identity center. It's a list of 22 items, if you can see. The most important one is that's what you call the 442 scanner. That one that's, when you go to the banks and you go and do BVN, you do your 8 fingers and then 2 thumbs on. The one that the banks use as of today cost 1.2 million, just for that small box. But the model that, of course, we can't ask people to go and start buying that, the type that the banks use. So the model that we have is costing 540,000. Actually, before the pandemic, it was 450,000. And I can tell you, it's the cheapest in the market. It's the cheapest. The next closest to it, at the time we're selling at 450, was 600,000. Now, all these other things, dongles, licenses, if you look at all the total of all these things, of course you need computer, but the kind of computer that you need is not the type, is because you're going to be doing capture. You're going to be doing iris capture, high resolution images and things like that. And in the past, we have tried to use lower end computers and it just didn't work. It just didn't work at all. So we have to end up going for the higher end computers, which cost about 240,000. So this list, as of today, if you have your money and you want to set up your center, you will need at least 1.7 million for one set of equipment. We're giving you this breakdown just so that you can have a good idea of where the numbers are coming from. It's not like it's anything that is difficult to understand at all. You can look through the list of equipment. Now, when we started, in actual fact, we had initially written to CBN requesting for 2.5 million for our partners. At that time, the thinking was one set of equipment and then about 800,000 working capital. But just like I said, when we now realize that, hey, one set of equipment may be limiting, it will be better we have a mobile unit along with it. That's where the cost now came to 4 million at that time, which was 2.8 million for equipment, one fixed, one mobile, and the 1.2 million working capital. Of course, we also realized that a lot of people, their locations either even doesn't exist, or they need to do quite some work on it, and that was going to need even some additional funding. Now, the last meeting that we have 17 groups that we're working with. You are just one of the groups that we're working with. Of course, we've given you the privilege of being one of the biggest. You are the second biggest group, even though you are the group that have practically no experience in this business. But I mean, it's okay. It's relationship that we're leveraging on. But so we all came together and we had a very extensive meeting. The first conversation we had was exchange rate had gone up from 360 at that time, and it was already edging over 400. So we realized that the cost of equipment was going higher. So we called for a meeting and we said, look, this was going on. This 4 million is going to have to go up a little bit by about 200,000 or thereabout because of the new exchange rates. And then the conversation now came. We also updated everybody. When the national ID is going to start, presently what we have is a long slip. But after reviewing, feedback from everybody, what has now been done is that slip has now been shaped like a normal identity card. Now, which means that people, now of course, it is only free when you are printing it on paper for people. If they need to laminate it, you still need to, they need to pay for that lamination, and it's not, you can't do lamination for anybody for free. But we also figured out that if people can print on card, a lot of people will not mind paying a 500 naira or thereabout to now go ahead and print the new ID card on a card instead of just on paper and laminating it. Now, the implication of that was it would be wise. We had provided for just one high-end printer, but now the question now became, shouldn't we get a higher model printer and get two instead of one, so that it's not an issue of you have a crowd, they're waiting for their document to come out, and you're not able to attend to enough people as you normally would have. Of course, the issue of the battery for the backup also came up. We needed batteries that can last, at least 24 hours, so that when you're on the field, the issue of your machine, my battery is dead or things like that doesn't come up. You have enough battery to do your work. When you get home, you charge overnight. You come back the following. So in the course of considering anybody that needs anything, can just go and get it by themselves. But the aggregators came back to us and said, look, people are asking for a loan. You're asking them to go and look for 300,000 to go and buy printer. Where would they find it from? You better add everything to that list so that you have a complete list. So in the going back and forth, it was a very long meeting we had that day. The cost of equipment now came closer to 3.5 million. And like I said, extra 2 sets of enrollment equipment, extra batteries, banded canopy, and laminator, extra printer, higher quality and extra printer, and that came to that amount. Now, the way the NESA loan is structured is any amount you ask for, automatically 70% is set aside as for acquiring equipment, and then 30% is set aside as working capital. In this instance, we indicated that working capital will be rent, salaries, and utilities. so that those of us that don't even have a place, there will still be some sizable amount that we can use to get somewhere that will meet the requirements. We're believing that with 600,000, most places in Nigeria, you will get a reasonable place that will meet the requirements. It's only maybe when you are operating in city centers like Lagos, really, that you might need more than a 600,000 type of investment. Even for a lot of places, it's likely to even be much less. But those are the provisions. Now, of course, there's a cost to bringing out the funds. Remember that this is 5% per annum facility, and we need to get the money out very quickly. So the administrative fees of getting the money out, that's the 12.5% that we're talking about, which we cannot add to equipment because that is fixed. There's nothing we can do about that. So we now have to add, okay, the cost of getting this money out is 10%, and now the business plan, the training, which are the things that we've done, and we're doing another set of training starting from tomorrow, for example, to cover these things. So as of today, this is the breakdown of what we have. 3.5 million for equipment as expressed. Of course, all equipment is insured. We don't want a situation where an equipment has a fault, you are waiting for it to be fixed or whatever. Once your equipment has a fault, you just send it in, we replace it for you. Of course, if there's a robbery, as long as it doesn't look like a staged robbery, your insurance will cover all the equipment. In actual fact, that is a requirement for disbursement. They're not going to release the money unless there's 100% insurance on all the equipment that is being provided for. So that is the breakdown as we have it today. Of course, the expectation is that even with more cash, we are able to even be better prepared for the program. So the question then becomes, if I take a 5 million naira loan for 5 years, 1 year moratorium, what do I need to do to make up? This is a snapshot of the business plan as we've presented to NESA. We're asking for 6 years, 1 year moratorium. And the way we've done it is we'll give ourselves 6 months to start and start making repayments. And then over the next 5.5 years, we can pay the balance. We've now allowed for 6 months. I'm getting married this month, so I'm shutting down my operations for this month. No problem. As long as you don't get married more than 6 times during the next 5 years. Somebody wants to go and do birthday. Hopefully, it will be good things that will make you not work once in a while. But we provided that so that when you miss payment once in a while over the 5 years, there won't be an issue because it is part of the moratorium, and the moratorium is interest free. But the bottom line is that it will now require 100,000 deductions monthly. That is what the repayment is, 100,000 monthly. If we break that 100,000 down further, we have 2 sets of equipment. Let's assume that we're working 20 days of the week, really. That means that we need to pay, that will be 5,000 every day. If we are doing, now remember that part of the conversation we've had is that the portion that we're using to repay the loan is the portion that is going to be paid for the issuance of the free national identity number. Every other income goes straight to you, and nobody has anything to do with that. What I have explained repeatedly to everybody is that is where the money is. People just need to understand. For people that don't understand the business, that will say, the 400 they're going to pay me is where the money is. That's not where the money is. But that is what we're using to guarantee the loan. Because for you to be able to repay back as of today, what you need to do is to just do 10 registrations per machine every day. We want to believe that there's nobody that will not be able to do 10 registrations per machine per day. That it will be quite something to behold.
What does 10 registrations per machine means? How much?
So So ask that question again.
I'm trying to understand 10 registration per machine.
10 national, there are two sets of equipment.
Okay.
One is fixed, one is mobile.
Okay.
So you are going to be registering with the two sets of equipment.
Okay.
It's not as if you are going to keep one under the table and be using one. Okay. All right. So one is mobile, one is fixed. And like I said, and I'd like to get feedback on that. Is it preferred that we should just have two sets of mobile equipment, or should we stay with one fixed, one mobile? We've explained why mobile is good. Mobile actually allows us to make a lot more money. From our experience, if you have a mobile machine, you are likely to make essentially up to 5 times more than if you are operating out of a fixed location. But you need a fixed location to be approved. A mobile equipment alone on its own cannot be approved. That's the challenge. But you can have two mobile equipments in your location, so that if you need to move around, you can move around. If you need to walk out of your location, you can still walk out of your location. But that's for all of us to decide. But we're getting a lot of feedback from people saying, just give us two mobile equipment. Whatever works, that's for us to decide. Now, your question was, what does 20 sets mean? Is that it again?
What was 10? How much? So 10 machine is about 2,800 each. Okay.
Yes, exactly. So if you do 2,800 on one machine, 2,800 on the other machine, you have made 5,600 for that day. And what you are required to do is earn 5,000. I'm talking about for your loan repayments now.
Yeah.
You understand? So we've already removed the 35% from that amount, and we're just working strictly with what is left. All right. So we're trusting that. It's going to be difficult for anybody not to be able to do 10 registrations a day, and that's the base. Now, remember what we said. There's hardly anybody that is going to come and will not want to laminate their card and their paper. Part of what we're making available is 2 laminators that we can use to laminate. Of course, you charge 100 naira for that, and that money goes 100% to you. Nobody is sharing that money, and of course, you can use that to cover some of your overheads. There are now a list of so many other things that you can do as a national identity registration center, which I'm going to get to very quickly. But for us to focus on this page, we recognize that all fingers are not equal. There will be centers where there's permanent crowd, especially in the city centers. And there will be centers where it's just going to be, regular people coming in and coming out. Now, from our experience, the worst you can ever have is a situation where you do 20 registration per machine in a day. So we're starting with the worst case scenario. And I can assure you that is a really where you must be in the middle of nowhere for you to be doing 20 registrations per machine a day. Remember that it's going to be compulsory. It's going to be compulsory for everybody to go and get a national ID. JAM is just an idea of what is about to happen. You can now imagine when, even for children to get to school, they must go and bring their national ID number. For you to get a birth certificate, there are 77 incidences where it is now compulsory for you to show a national identity number, including the telcos. We've just signed an agreement with 2 telcos now, who are soon going to start telling people, go and tie your national ID number to your SIM, and they're going to pay for it, because when you bring your national ID number, after you register it, when they now want to check it against, they have to verify. We call that verification service, and there's an income that comes with providing that service to a telco, for example, and the other people that need to comply with this law. The average registration per day, which is what
Hello.
we have been working with, is 100. That is which. Yes. Are you using me?
I lost you for a while.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay. All right. So I was talking about the potential income. And I said, at the high level, for people who are ready for this business, they will average 160 registrations, which is about 80 per machine. If you are averaging 80 per machine, your take home is about 1.4 million, 1 million left for you. And of course, your monthly deduction is constant, which is the 100,000 that we're talking about. And so you'll be taking, you guys, that's serious about what we're talking about. This is a business that will earn you an average of 1 million every month after your 100,000 deductions, after your overheads. We're not theorizing here. I've been in this business for 15 years, so I know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, the average person is going to take home 500,000 a month after deductions, after everything. Remember that we're only focusing on just one line of income. We're not even recognizing any of the other sources of income, which I would like to now just share some of them with us. This is NIMS's official charge sheet. If you go to their website, I'm sure you will see a copy of this document somewhere on their website. So if somebody needs to reprint, remember what is free is the national ID number. But when the person now comes and says, I want to reprint my slip, or in this case my card, they pay 500 naira. Now that income goes straight to you. Nobody's going to share that with you in any format. Of course, one of the things that you'll be able to do as a center is that sometimes for employment purposes, sometimes for legal reasons, people now need what is called a written certification to confirm identity. That is 30,000 naira. One letter. And of course, nobody's going to share that income with you. Maybe I should correct myself. When we say nobody's going to share that income, what I mean is that we, your licensed partner, and we're not going to have anything to do with that. But out of that, if I take that 30,000 for example, most likely we are going to pay officially to NIMS directly, because everybody is going to get a remitter account. And when somebody comes and says, I want to pay 30,000, they will pay that money into your remitter account, because you have to issue them an official receipt which shows that they've paid federal government 30,000. But of course, the cost to you is about 18,000, and your margin on that transaction is 12,000. The one that I know has been very popular is the change of age. You know, in Nigeria, there's official age and there's unofficial age. So there's a lot of incidences. I still had that incident yesterday with one of my neighbors. The person had 2 ages, 1 year difference. And by the time they wanted to go and remove passports, they insisted that they must go and do change of age. It's 15,000. Once again, that 15,000, the cost to you as the enrollment center is about 8,000. The official fee is 15,000. So there's a 6,000 on top of that. Nobody's going to share that with you. It's your income. Now, some people they are now married. They've changed addresses. So all those other changes apart from age is 500 naira. Of course, if you want to, the part about PIN, I'm not sure that is more of outside Nigeria than in Nigeria, but that's physical card itself. All right. Now, when the physical card comes, if you want to reissue that card, it's 5,000 naira. I've just highlighted just one set off, and you will notice the heading there. It is called non-premium services. There is something called premium services. So a premium service is an example where a company says, look, we don't want to come to your center. We don't want to come and queue. Can you come to our premises and come and do the registration? Of course, that's a premium service. And, there's guidance so that people don't take advantage of how you can charge or not charge for such a service. I would say let's pay attention to that. We try not to talk too much about those kind of income because they can be very sensitive. They can be very sensitive because people can have a tendency to want to take advantage. There are instances where people charge as much as 5,000 naira, to go and do private registration for people. and NIPSI doesn't want those kind of scenarios. It has to be reasonable. It has to be within what is allowed. But all those monies will, so I see myself, if I have a mobile registration unit, the money I'll be making from premium services, I will not even touch any other money. There's no that, because I can make 5 times more from those, and nobody's going to share any of that. And we have not calculated any of those kind of incomes from what we potentially want to get. At the end of the day, this is not a free-for-all project. It still requires us to be hardworking. I remember doing Simwage. There were people who on Friday they will go to the mosque. On Sunday, they will go to the church. They know all the market days. So each market day, they had a vehicle. So they go and park there. And they're making 5 times more than everybody else. That one is up to individuals to decide. We can't help them. But we know that with hard work, you will make more than enough money to justify being part of this project. Of course, integrity matters. Because there's going to be a rush, there is that tendency or to want to take advantage. And I encourage all of us, please don't do that. Please don't take advantage, because if you do, in actual fact, NIPSI will not even blink. They will disconnect you with automatic alacrity, and you're on your own. So we anticipate that everybody will be disciplined. Our integrity is going to be, on the table. And of course, despite all the challenges in Nigeria, we believe that this is an opportunity that is in the making. Let us also keep in mind, the only thing we are talking about now is just national identity. The only thing we're even talking about is just issuance of the national identity number. But the Financial Inclusion Center and so many other services that the same set of equipment you've acquired, you're going to use to earn income from that. But when we are applying for loan, there was no need for us to start saying you can do BVN, you can do account creation, you can do loan disbursement, you can do e-commerce. That one is not necessary. We just told them that the money that is going to come from just the issuance of national identity number is going to pay back this loan. And they of course, they've been satisfied with our presentation, which is why a blanket approval was given for us to submit in bulk. There's no way they would have given that approval. So I've spent more time than I was planning, but I guess I felt a need to explain as best as possible. I'll just open the floor so that we can take questions very quickly. And I will hand over the screen back to our host.
Thank you very much, sir. I think that has been clear for the most part. You said some things that I'm just getting aware of for the first time.
Okay.
That we're not going to share some of the money. I don't understand though. Why are we not sharing money?
I'm also the president of Society for Agent Banking.
Okay.
And we argue, especially with CBN, all the time, that the agent, that is the person doing the work, must get the bulk of the money. We insist. So there have been many instances where we say, no. If the person doing the job doesn't get anything less than 60%, it's not worth it. So it is that same rule that I'm extending to this. Everybody has to succeed. We have to think about this from the long term and not from the short term. So, and some of them are just practical. Now, somebody comes to your center and he wants to do lamination, and you've charged the person 100 naira and you've collected 100 naira. How do you share that 100 naira?
I understand.
I'm asking. So you can't.
I'm just being naughty.
You get nothing to share inside. So it's your money. You pocket it, and hopefully instead of charging people 100, you won't charge them 300. Because those are the things that happen in Nigeria.
I understand. So I just wanted to ask that to be naughty, because I think we're the most uninformed group.
You are correct. Yes.
We're the most uninformed group, and I in particular as well. So I haven't done this like I understand this is what is going to happen. But I just see the opportunity. I've seen the opportunity. I've seen what the possibilities are. I've seen that this is just the foundation of something bigger. So
absolutely,
NIN is not really what I'm looking at as a real game changer. Yes, people can make $1 million a month from this, but there's a lot more that we're going to do. There's a lot more that background becomes essential for. Once we get into some of agency banking, there's a lot more that we'll be able to be available to do as well. So these are our 250 plus people become foundational for a variety of other possibilities. And, our desire initially was that all of them will be our direct stockists so that we can, also leverage on the fact that they're growing, we are growing as well. But I think it's a bit clearer now. Okay, I know there are questions building there. We'll answer the questions. But as you can see, the cost went up because they need to buy other equipment. I didn't even know that there was a canopy. So I didn't know about the canopy. I didn't know that people are now being encouraged to print cards instead of just paper. So they can charge an extra 500 naira on top of, they can actually charge 500 naira for that aside of the money that the government is going to pay them, if I get you correctly.
Correct.
And then of course there's a fee. I think the banks call it facilitation fee to say we want to get the loan out quicker. There's a fee that you need to pay to ensure that somebody is helping to fast track that. I don't know what they call it. I don't know how that works, but that's one of the fees that is there as well. So that clarifies that for me. So I'll take the questions very quickly so that we can be out of here. Somebody says printer cartridges are available. Are they for refill?
Yes, that's a good question. So part of what we have been looking at is exactly what you just asked now. So we need the kind of consumables that are readily available in the market and that are easily and are affordable as well. So yes, the model that we're getting is the model that allows you to practically use any of the cartridges that are openly available in the market.
Okay. Now, somebody's asking, I'll answer this one. It says it's Saturday and Sunday included in no repayment. Loan repayment is 100,000 naira per month. If you like, work for 2 days and don't work for the remaining part of the month. So far, you can pay the 100,000 naira, you're fine. Saturday and Sunday, it depends on you. That's totally up to you. Someone says, well done, sir, for this privilege we are giving us. Sir, when I went to register for my NIMC in Warri, on getting there, they asked us to pay 200 naira for fuel. Can we do same to enhance our own site?
I've said it before. I encourage you, please be careful when you charge people. It can get you into trouble.
So let me even add this.
All right.
Guys, if you are working with us, if we are together and it's a TGM code you are using, nothing funny can be mentioned near our name. Already, we have a positioning that allows us to look like we don't really know much about this. So we need to keep it professional and, you can make $1 million on this doing it right. Yeah. So
and more and more.
Yeah, and more. So that
much more actually
from NIN doing it
alone.
Right. On NIN alone, apart from lamination, apart from printing, apart from change of this, change of story, and apart from some people here who are going to coach you on how you can go and close company accounts, on how you can go and close bigger deals, on how you can go and close deals that would allow people to be, checking their data with you, and you can earn extra money from a variety of those things. So please, let's not do anything funny like 200 naira for fuel. Can we have the slides that Mr. Sola
let me talk about that.
Okay.
Now, it is we're in Nigeria. Yeah. During JAM, when JAM said NIN was compulsory, people were paying 3,000 just to get on the queue. Now they were the ones offering the money to the center owners. Okay. So most of the time, it is actually the people that will be offering the money that, but we're still in Nigeria. Let's just keep it in mind that you can get into trouble when you do those things. So we will work with you and then make sure that anything that you do is within what is allowed. That's where we should just keep in mind. Go ahead.
Can I have a slide Mr. Sola used in this presentation? People are always asking for slides. Should we start selling slides now?
Yes.
So we'll share that. We'll share that with everybody that is in our group. Can someone apply for additional mobile workstation to increase his equipment to 3? People are seeing it.
Not the law. You see, remember, I was telling you that day that it was even people were even beginning to get tempted that we should add this, we should add that. Calm down. All right. So we decided to stop at 5 million. But the thinking is that if we personally, my personal opinion is that by the time you run this thing for about a year, if you are dead serious, it's quite likely you will have paid off your loan. Quite likely. Now, I see a situation where you can now go back and ask for another 5 million. And at that level, you already understand the business. You're now looking for more equipment, you're looking for bigger space, and things like that. But as at this moment, we're just talking about 2 sets of equipment.
Okay. Someone is asking, is it possible to get a final absolute breakdown for the 3.5 million naira equipment?
The slide as a guide is a guide, okay, to give us an idea of what the equipment breakdown is. But you can be sure that even before disbursement, not us, NESA is going to share those information with us. But the slide has a guide of what that breakdown looks like.
Okay. Someone is asking, okay, good. Someone is asking, when are we commencing this project, sir? What about opening an account with the microfinance bank? Thank you, sir.
All right. So officially, NIMSI plans to start this project in September. That is what they've announced to the world, and that's what we're working towards. That we're working overnight, because we want to get this money out in record time and get all the equipment in by August, so that by September we're already setting up centers. However, centers that we're presently activating, that's those people that are not asking for loan, that we're already activating as we speak. We have teams that are going around the country activating people as we speak, people that have their money. They're going to start in August. They're going to start officially in August. But I guess everybody else will start in September.
So disbursements will start in August? Hello? Uh-oh. Is it me that froze? Oh? Can you hear me? Hello? If you can hear me, just type I can hear you in the chat box. Let me know that you can hear me so that I can know it's Mr. Sola that we cannot hear. Okay, you can hear me. Good. If you want to ask your questions, use the question and answer box. This chat group that you're using is not going to work. Okay, thank you very much. I can see that you can hear me. Excellent, thank you. We'll revert back. I think once he gets back in, he will join us. Let me stop the capacity for anything to even happen here. So let me stop that here. You can no longer chat. If you have a question and it has not been answered, just send it to the question and answer session when Mr. Sola Bickersteth comes back. Okay, good. Are you back, sir?
Yes, I am. I'm back.
Okay, great. Okay, so we lost you somewhere there.
Yes.
So we have the questions rolling in fast. We have like 37 questions.
Okay, so let's be faster about it.
Yeah, so 30 seconds.
We have
yeah.
Taraba State, we have the whole of Nigeria covered, so you can operate in Taraba.
Okay, great. How can we profit from the premium service? I didn't get that. Just
that's why we're adding a mobile unit. We're adding a mobile unit so that you can do premium service.
Premium service.
You can go to premises.
Yeah.
Okay. You can go to and you can charge for that.
It says, is the administrative charge of 187,000 naira not too high, since we partners bear the brunt of loan repayment? Okay, I'll answer that a little bit. So, if you listen to the conversation, the charge is 10,000 naira for EDI, 2,000 naira for whatever support. There's a payment for business plan, and I think the bulk payment is for facilitating the quick disbursement of the loan. Okay, is it too high? I don't know if it's too high, Mr. Bickersteth.
Okay, so the next cheap loan available in Nigeria is from commercial banks, and you have to be an MTN for you to get it at 18%. Everybody else gets it closer to 25% or even higher. All right. Now we're talking of a 6-year loan that we're going to pay 25% for the 6 years on top. Now, what we now need to do is to facilitate the quick release of the money. There's a 10% charge. Banks charge those fees. It's not a whatever. So it's up to us to decide really what we want to do, what we don't want to do. But as of today, that's what we have to do. And when we compare it to the next cheap loan, it is still 10 times cheaper than any other loan you can find anywhere.
Okay.
You can, what are your numbers?
So someone is saying, what is the breakdown of the 197,000? And I don't know why Anonymous is asking questions. Please, you can put your name beside it so that we can know who is asking. Okay, but what's the breakdown? Somebody wants to know the breakdown of the 187,000. Please.
12.5% of the working capital.
They want to know the breakdown.
10% is facilitation fee,
yeah.
And then 2.5% is the training, the business plan development, and all those other physical administrative work that we need to do to get the loan out. So 10% and 2.5%.
Okay. Are you open to some of us who can provide some of the equipment to bid for the supply?
To bid for supply of equipment?
I think that's another conversation. I don't think that's for here. Sir, is there a way I can know the total number of registration done on a particular unit? This person is asking because they want to put a staff there and they want to know if they can track what the staff has done.
No, everything is systemic.
Okay.
Is the machine that generates the number of registration you've done and stuff like that. It's not a manual process at all.
Okay. Someone is asking, I have 2 locations in 2 different local governments in Ogun State. Do I have the opportunity of choosing the local government I want to choose, or or you choose for me?
No, you have to choose where you want to operate. We don't know that. We don't know Nigeria. So we assume that the local area you've chosen is an area that you know very well. We can choose for you.
FSL will pay 70% of all payments from the ecosystem project to the partners under this scheme, less bank charges, including monthly loan repayments and aggregators commissions. What amount goes to aggregators from the 70% as commission?
We said 5%.
Yeah, so it's 5% is there already. Okay, so how does this work? So, okay, so
we've said it now.
Okay, 5%. Is this deducted or they pay it?
No, it's deducted.
Okay.
That's why we're asking for authorization to deduct, because once the money comes in, we do the spreading. But I can't overemphasize it. Remember that the only thing we're sharing is just one line of income out of like 20. So don't let the percentages scare you. Look at the big picture.
Okay. How that's clear. Someone is asking, cost H of the enrollment agreement says FSL will pay 70% of its payments to partners, less bank charges, including monthly loan repayment and aggregators commission. Question is, what the deductions going to be made from 70% or from 30% retained by FSL? The deductions will be made from 70%. The deductions are made from the 280. This is clear, yes?
No, 280 is even after deductions. Okay, the total amount is about 410 or something now. So by the time you remove all those things, what comes to you is 280 as of today.
Okay.
Funding generated.
Okay, all that's clear. Can the money for some of the equipment like canopy be given to the agents if there's enough comfortable space for citizens coming for registration?
It's possible.
Yeah, okay.
But it has to be a case-by-case conversation.
I think that will be
possible.
I think case by case will be complicated actually. But yeah, okay. Thank you very much, sir. I want to ask if we can use our personal system in addition to the one we are going to be given. Can we readily have the software installed on our PC?
Now, yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Okay. Please, sir, someone's name was omitted during the compilation of names. Is it too late for him or her?
It's too late.
Yeah. Can you give us an idea of how location restrictions will be accorded? E.g., if I'm to handle Ojo local government, does it cover the whole of Ojo or enters into other local governments?
You cover your local government. We somehow think we are magicians because in the smallest local government, the average local government in Lagos is about 500,000. The local governments are about 1 point something million. How do you want to do it? You can't register more than 30,000 people in a year, working 24/7. You know. So how do you want to do it? So to actually cover a local government, you need about 10 machines.
Okay.
You can't cross local governments.
Okay. Someone says there's a generator set in the list. Is this going to be provided? 2 printers?
We're providing power. Backup power. For that, we're providing batteries, not the physical generator.
Okay. 2 printers. Do we need 2 printers since we are only one static equipment?
No, yeah, if you are in the field, you have to print too now.
So there's a printer.
It's a mobile printer. Yes, it's a high-end mobile printer, so that you can also make money when you're on the field.
Okay, so there's a mobile printer. Please, sir. See, most of the network was crazy. Please do as usual again for the training tomorrow. Can it be done and posted on WhatsApp? And in turn, we ask questions clearly. No network interruption. Okay, sir. I want to confirm, sir, about the generator. Is it inclusive of the revised plan? There's battery. It's not generator, but it's a battery. Please, can we get the slides printed so that the agents will have copies? You will get it in the WhatsApp group so that you can print it if you like. Sir, what is the advantage of having 2 of the mobile equipment? The advantage is you can move to 2 different locations at the same time. You don't have to worry about whether people come to your office or not. You can go to where the people are. Please confirm that it's only the agreement form we need to fill now. If you have filled the forms, you have filled all the details, you have used your TGM code, all that you need to fill now is your agreement form. Wait for a link that will be shared with you and then upload it. Can we do premium service in locations outside our assigned local government?
No.
Okay, the answer is no. Where the person is willing to pay for the 3rd equipment, pay for it and buy the equipment, that's fine. Is the repayment period now 5 years instead of 4 years? That's never been 4 years.
Yes, 5 years.
Does the site close or was the closing time during operation?
Yeah, good question. The server works.
We didn't hear that. We're not hearing you.
However, there's expectation that you will not operate to endanger yourself.
So the server.
Okay, so the server works 24. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Can you hear me? Hello?
We can hear you.
Yes, the server works 24/7. Yes, but you are not expected. Yes, you are not expected to endanger yourself. So you'll be expected to
network. We didn't hear that. We didn't hear that.
But where it is required, you work up till 8 p.m., you'll still be able to attend to.
Okay. I think that's fair.
Okay, it's breaking up.
Yeah, it was breaking up. Breaking up badly. But I think we have.
So you can work, but within reasonable time, within security.
Okay, very good.
You still can hear.
We can hear now. We put it together. What I hear you say is they can.
Hear.
We can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. It's still breaking. It's still breaking a bit. Maybe you should log out and log in again. Yeah.
So yes, you can work on Saturdays, Sundays, into the night to start working at.
Okay, so when he comes back, we get him again. Can one decide to pay off the loan before the date is due? Yes. You can pay off the loan as soon as you have the money. If you are making ₦1 million per month, you can pay off the loan within a year and then be free of the loan and then begin to grow and amass a system to ensure you can cover your local government more effectively. How many local governments we won't be allowed to have? Okay, I think he's back. Yeah, welcome back, sir.
Okay.
Someone is asking, how many local governments will they be allowed to have? Especially those of us in Abuja. This link is not going to agree tonight. Oh. The link doesn't want to agree. We are not hearing you at all. We are not hearing you at all.
Okay, it's one local government per approval. Okay. One local government per approval.
Okay. Somebody is asking again, in the presentation I saw generator. No, it's battery. The generator battery is the battery.
We assume when people get for themselves, they will rather get a generator. But what we are providing is backup battery, 24/7 backup power.
Okay. If you have a special arrangement with a school or a company to come and register them, do we charge them a fee? That's what is called premium service. And if it's in your local government, you can do it.
Yeah.
Is there a difference between the fixed and mobile equipment in terms of quality? Because I'm considering two mobile equipment. I think they're about the same quality. It's just that one allows you to move around.
Exactly.
Is 7 kV generator the minimum required for powering the equipment?
That's recommended. That list is for those who have their cash. We just used it to give us a guide, to give us an idea of, the equipment that we're talking about, so that people are clear what we're talking about.
Sir, when filling,
you can get a bigger generator if you want. You still can't hear me?
No, I can hear you. Can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, go ahead.
When filling the new agreement form, can I use the new business name? The new name is a bit different from the name I registered with. They have come.
That's a tough one.
It's a tough one. No? The last
form
you built, better make sure that that's the name you still have. Otherwise, you'll be on the bench.
I won't decide to pay the loan before due date, yes. In other words, I'm hoping and praying that everybody will pay off their loan in the first year. That's my personal expectation.
Someone is asking a question. Does the mobile equipment include a vehicle? What's the meaning of that?
No, it doesn't. But you have 1.3 million. You can use it to buy you can even get a small. What's that 7-seater that is common in Lagos now? They sell it for about 700,000-800,000.
I don't know it though.
There's one 7-seater. I don't know. There's a name they call it. Those small buses.
Okay.
They sell them 700-800.
What says Kurukwe?
You got it.
Akotozoro.
Use your money and buy one.
Okay, sir. Thanks for answering our questions judiciously. For the sake of mobile equipment, can I travel as far as Ugiri local government area?
You can't go outside of the approved local government. There's a dongle. There's a GPS dongle on as the equipment. Once you go outside your coverage area, the machine will not work again.
Okay. Please, how do you get 289 in the projection? It's very simple. The fee for NIN that you are paid for everybody you register people for free. For every free person you register, you are going to be paid 400 naira. 410 naira, which is the dollar value. 65% of that is yours, essentially. That's about 280 naira. I want to confirm about the generator. It's battery. How will distribution of equipment be and setting up in each location? Who is setting up the equipment? And are we paying for setup?
We're responsible for setting up. You just give us location, we'll come and set you up.
Okay, there's no payment again. It's been taken from the equipment.
No. It's part of the cost.
Okay, so it says it's part of the cost. You don't need to pay for setup again. Concerning the national form, please, I filled the form before and submitted to FSL. Do I still need to refill the form again? Yes, because the numbers have changed. It's now a higher value. Can we
No, it's not the form they need to refill, it's the agreement they need to resign.
Sorry, okay, it's the agreement you need to resign.
Yeah.
Okay, it's the agreement you need to sign. Can we employ more people into the system and we need to write the FSL about our staffs? No, that's your business.
No.
Can we be paid above the stipulated period, for instance, instead of paying 100K monthly? Nobody's paying you a particular stipulated amount. What he's saying is if you are doing only 20 people, that is 10 people per machine on a daily basis, you earn 100,000 naira per month if you work for 20 days. If you do more than that, you can earn $1 million plus a month on NIN alone and the other source of income. Can we do
300 a day?
Yeah,
it's up to you.
Yeah, if you can do 1,000 a day, congratulations. Generator is not giving, it's battery. On the slide, it was said that 5 years for repayment. You mentioned 6 years. Please clarify.
1 year moratorium, 5 years actual payment.
1 year you don't need to pay, 5 years you pay. Please, sir, there's an opportunity for someone whose name was omitted. No, it's gone. Abi?
Yes, too late.
When is our office likely to be inspected, sir?
The inspection, no, an interview is going to be conducted. Some people from CBN will call us and ask us questions about the project. So we've advised the office you want to use, go and arrange it down so that when people call you, don't be stammering. At least say, okay, this is the place I want to use. I'm just waiting for you to give me the money, then I'll go and pay.
Can we get a revised cost estimate page sent to us to replace the one that we had before? You will get this slide, so you have the guide there. Okay? So I use the business name that is under registration process. Can I continue using it, or I must use registered business name?
No, under process is okay.
Have our form been submitted to NESAL, and how do we confirm our registration on the portal?
We'll let you know. Those are part of the next steps. Once the agreements are signed, we're going to allow everybody to log into their NESAL profile and then do a personal audit so that you're sure the details there are correct.
Okay, so let me alert you as well. Let me warn you as well. Some people went and tried to be filling the NESAL form directly themselves. If you have done that, you may discover that you didn't qualify for any, because if you have already tried to create 2 entries, there's an entry being created for you, and I'm going to create another one, it is not likely you will get this. So please let's ask, they say measure twice and cut once. Let's ask before we embark. Concerning NESAL from, I think we've answered this before. Will all the loan be disbursed to all as a group? It will be disbursed individually.
Individually.
Can we do any other business like photocopying, lamination, etc.? Yes. My church is not within my assigned local government. Can I still do the registration?
No.
What are they community check our centers? Answered. Is this moment from August? Yes. What is the guarantee that the partner gets the local government he prefers for operation?
You can only be considered for the local government you applied for. You can't be considered for a local government you didn't apply for.
Okay. If we register with our personal name at EDI training and not company name, do we need to do another EDI training with company name?
No.
No. Please, does the mobile equipment means we can work outside of our assigned local government? No. It means you can work off your assigned office.
Yes, outside your office, around your local government area.
What if within 1 year we decide to pay the money? Do we still pay 25% loan? No, you pay 5%. I heard we need to open microfinance bank. When can we do that?
We'll let you know how to go about it.
Good evening, sir. When are we looking at to get the loan? God bless TGN.
We're working to get it out in 2 weeks from now. That's our target.
2 weeks from now. Okay. Oh, some people are planning marriage. Okay. What is the maintenance plan for the equipment that will be deployed in case of downtime due to faulty equipment?
We've said it, all equipment are insured, and our plan is when an equipment goes faulty, we replace, because downtime means that you are busy fixing equipment and stuff like that.
Okay. I will advise that we try and, as much as possible, not to let the equipment have downtime, because these things always sound like it's going to be easy until there are 15 people, 20 people that have challenge at the same time, and then you realize that it takes some time. So downtown.
That's also why we're getting very quality equipment.
Yeah. Okay. Please, can you list the equipment you are getting for us? It will be in the documents. You have a guide in the documents that you will be receiving shortly. Is the 5% part of the 30% or remaining 70% for the partners? There's 30% for the licensee, there's 5% for aggregator, and there's 65% for partners. Okay?
Yeah.
Can we still change our local government, please? No.
No. It is possible. Okay. So let me explain what I mean. As of today, we are processing the loan with NESA based on the local government that you have applied for. After the loan has been approved, if you now decide that you want to consider another local government, that is now as per getting NIMSI to approve you. Remember, one is get money, the next one is get approval for your center. So there's a window between when the money comes to you and when you go to NIMSI. Like you can now say, by the way, I now want to go to the next local government. But it is subject to availability.
Okay. If I want to change location as a result of low patronage in my local location, can it be approved?
It's the same thing.
Same thing.
Be sure of where you are working now. Face your lane. Don't look at another person's.
How many enrollment partners will be allocated to each local government?
Technically, what is required, there are 4,000 centers that are required across the country. If you spread them across the local government, we're talking about 6 centers per local government.
6 per local government.
Yes.
6 per local government, not up to 1 per ward. For perspective,
is even 1 per 2 wards, really.
Yeah. So for perspective, in a ward, you can have like in one ward, you can have up to 20 polling units. So you can have how big that is. How are we going to manage network issue? We manage it personally.
Yeah. But that's a good question. We're engaging with NIMSI to confirm that there's what is called offline enrollment.
Okay.
So it is, as of today, it's not yet live, but we believe there will be provision for offline environment, which is you can do registration where there's no network. Then when you now get to where there's network, everything will synchronize. But it will now mean that you probably now have to go back the following day to go and give the people their cards and stuff like that.
Okay.
Continue.
Okay, so okay, please, do you advise someone to buy a car for mobility?
Yes, if you can afford it, yes.
You can afford it. If you don't have one before, you can afford it. Yes.
Or you buy Korope from your 1.3 million.
What kind of internet package that will be given? I think that's been answered. No internet package is being given. Use your own internet package now. It's part of your office setup. If there's offline available, you do all the things you want to do offline. You get to the office in the evening and upload. You can use your MTN, your Airtel, or your Smile. What happens to ailing unproductive centers? Are they assisted and supported? Can one open more than one office within the local government area? What are the working hours per day? It's been answered 24/7 up to 8 p.m. based on security reasons around your area. If a particular center is unproductive, what happens to them?
That's why we're encouraging mobile units. That's why we've added mobile units so that you can move around within your community and you're not stuck to one location. But you cannot move across local government.
Can people that are not performing be acquired by people that are working?
People that are performing, those are not individual arrangements. It has nothing to do with us.
No, if your local government is not producing anything, and there's somebody that is in a nearby local government that is feeling that this person, can I take over?
It's between the two of them.
So we're happy.
They will agree on.
If the doesn't agree, doesn't agree now. He's still saying I want to continue this way. It's not performing.
It's up to it. Two individuals can decide how they want to do it among themselves. Nobody will quarrel with that.
If somebody is not performing, he doesn't want anybody to discuss anything with him. He still wants to sit there and try as much as possible to do
and be doing his thing.
Yes.
That's why we provided for worst case scenario, average, and then so that all scenarios are taken care of.
Okay. How many staff should one be looking at employing with one mobile equipment and one fixed equipment?
Averagely 2 per set per registration.
2 per registration center.
Yeah.
Is computer or laptop inclusive in the equipment? Yes. Are LCDs recognized? Yes.
Yes, in Lagos.
Does the equipment come with an internet connection? No.
Use your 1.3 million.
Yes.
For internet.
When is likely inspection of our business centers? You be called for an interview by CBN. I think that has been answered already.
Yes. The physical inspection will be done after the money has been released.
Okay. When is it likely for the money to be disbursed? Within the next 2 weeks, plus or minus? Well, more likely plus than minus. I can change local government due to relocation. Can I change local government due to relocation? I think that has been answered as well.
Between when your loan is disbursed and then when you finally set up, there's a window for relocation, but not after.
Okay, no window for changing after you have started. Sir, for a place like Lagos that has more than double the agents needed, how do we share the local government amongst ourselves? Lagos is also big enough to accommodate as much as possible. So just start running quickly enough.
And Lagos is where you're going to find mostly premium services.
Yes. Sir, how many agents on one local government?
We just said it, about 6 centers.
So 6 per local government. How many? Okay. It's only one. I hope it's only one. It's not one. One local government is too big for one person.
You can't finish it. You can't.
When will we know if our location is approved?
No, you know now. You'll be contacted for setup. So you'll be called for an interview. After the interview, you will get notification that your loan has been approved. After that, you will get a message that says provide your bank account details. After you provide the details, you will get an alert on your phone. After you get the alert, we will now contact you and then start your setup.
What if somebody collects the money and runs?
To where?
And runs to another local government.
That's why we're collecting BVN.
Have you?
Unless you're planning to leave Nigeria. But Interpol will follow you.
Okay. Sir, is the approved business name for the CAC different from the one I filled in the first form, sir? What happens now that the new approved name by CAC? The last form you filled is the business name that you filled there. Now, I'm already seeing that some people may have problems. So, and if there's a problem, it means, it means you may not get through to the end. The last name you filled in the last form you filled, is that a correct name? If the answer is yes, in this agreement, make sure that the name tallies. That's all you need. The first form, forget the first form. Can someone use another email different from the one used in registration? Should in case I made a mistake in the former one used? I think mail is fine. Email is not a problem, is it? How was the 410 naira per enrollment determined? Is it $1 at 410 per dollar, what happens if the exchange rates to Naira the US changes? Will the estimated 280 not be affected?
Yes, it will be affected.
It will be affected.
It was 360 before COVID. Now it's 410. Hopefully it will go higher than that.
This 410 is that official rate because it's currently 450 unofficially.
If it's 450, then we'll increase it. By the time when we were submitting this business plan, it was based on 410. But if it goes higher, it simply means the money is going higher.
But is it bank rate or black market rate?
It's bank rate.
So,
and I don't know the difference. You know, they are also now going for one single exchange rate for everybody.
Really?
That's part of what CBN is doing here. They will soon announce it.
Okay. Can I use Abeokuta as my business center? I don't know. It's possible to you. I want to reconfirm. It's like you said, we will be allowed to print plastic ID card. Yes?
No. The slip has now been shaped to the size of an ID card, of a normal ID card. Those of us that have the temporary driver's license, you know, they will laminate it. It's paper. They will laminate it for you. That is how it's going to be. It's going to be printed on paper. Now, of course, you will charge for laminating for people. However, if you now have a printer that can print on card, it is now a personal arrangement between you and the person to say, look, do you want me to print it on card for you? I will charge you X, amount. So that's strictly, but what is free to that person is the one that is printed on paper. But it's like it's the size of a card. The lamination is not free. The printing on card is not free.
Are we getting machines for printing on card, or that one is a separate arrangement?
The machine that we have now can print on card.
Oh, really? Okay, good.
The printer that we have now can print on card.
Okay. Like I asked earlier, we have 3 more minutes to go. For the training tomorrow, I appeal for it to be done via WhatsApp so participants can get message clearly. Which training? I don't understand what you're talking about. If it is
it the EDI training?
EDI training is not happening on WhatsApp. We have no control over that one.
Somebody suggested that WhatsApp. I don't know how it's done. I'm wondering whether it's something we can discuss with the EDI.
Is voice notes or pictures or
is it effective?
Well, we use it to do training for our distributors.
So somebody mentioned it this afternoon.
Yeah, it's not
actually
it's not bad.
A friend of mine that owns an EDI, he called me today and he was yabbing me that I didn't bring business to him. And he was telling me he does his own training with WhatsApp. I said, really? How does he do it?
It can be effective, actually.
We'll discuss it with EDI if that's an option that is viable.
Okay, someone says, Uncle Adeolu, and I have a suggestion. As an aggregator, please help us liaise with telecom company to get CUG line for effective communication. Get it in bulk. It will help us. I, for one, will need 5 for the staffs and myself. Okay, we'll work on that. That's a good idea. So if everybody's sitting 5, we already have 1,000. I can call access for free. Okay, work on that. Will the company loan be sent to personal account or company account? The account you provided. I think the account you provided. Can it be personal account? I think it's BVN that is important.
Yes. Normally it's a business account. But if you say that your personal account is your business account, then it will be sent to that account. But the assumption is that a business name will be registered.
Okay, someone is asking something here. I thought
Have you lost connection?
No, I'm here. I thought the amount you said we disbursed to us formerly was 1.2, and you now inform us that it has been increased to 1.5. But now it's actually mentioning 1. Now, all will be disbursed to you 1.5, but you will now pay 12.5% from there. That will bring it down to 1.3 something eventually. So it's 1.5 that will be disbursed to you, but Mr. Sola is already calculating the amount that you need to pay for the facilitation fee and the administrative fees, which is about 187,500. I got a shop for 900,000 naira. Is it possible to meet up annually?
1.32.
Yeah, 1.32. Someone does a shop for 900,000 naira. Look at the business plan and decide. If you have a shop that's 900,000 naira, then you know how much you have put in your shop, you know how much you need to make, and then you allow it to drive you. You know, that's private. Can a new business name approved by CAC be used to fill the last form sent to the agents, which is different from the initial one used because it was disapproved by CAC? I think if you are in that boat, you probably will have a challenge. But I don't know, Mr. Sola, do you have anything to say about that?
We will have to look at it on a case-by-case situation.
When is the new EDI training commencing? Tomorrow.
Tomorrow morning.
So I'll
we'll share the link tomorrow morning.
Okay. Once I get the link, I'll send it to the groups. Please only attend that EDI training if you didn't attend the last one, because we're paying this time around, and we've paid for some people already who paid. Only attend if you didn't attend the last one. I know some people didn't attend the last one, and we've already pushed their names that they have attended. So if you want to attend again now, it may be that you have attended twice. So please note. We are starting a practical enrollment training when are we starting practical enrollment training as agents?
When we are setting you up.
When you have been set up. Sir, about those who are yet to register their company name.
Yeah, it's okay. When your company name is approved, at some point we will work with you to get it sorted out.
Since we've paid EDI training and the certificates, can the money be removed from the 107,000? Yes, Pastor John.
Yes, those that are paid their 10K will get. They will need to pay. They will take it back. Yes.
Yes, you take it back, and those who paid the 2,000 naira for support fee as well will take it back.
Yeah.
We are asked to choose two preferred LGAs. Will be considered based on this, and we put 2 LGA in the new agreement. Just put one on your preferred one. What's the percentage of the loan now? 5%.
5%.
Please help us do a sharing of member in this group so that 2-3 persons can get stuck. Don't get stuck in one local government. There are other groups. So there are some groups that already will also be, interfacing. But we'll have our own private arrangement of how we can, even people that didn't get access to this loan, who want to collaborate with some of us to do certain things, we'll work it out amongst ourselves. That's why really, if they give me final list and they say stockists, I need to choose final list, I'll go with stockists first. I'm warning you now. If 2 or more companies apply for one local government, there are up to 6 allowed per local government. In my agreement, I feel the local government I am from rather than where I live, which will be used. I should rather where I live. Abi? Person saying in the agreement form with
unless you are planning to go and operate from where you are from. It is where you are going to operate from that we're interested in.
This is talking about the agreement form with FSL.
Yes.
Okay.
It is where you are going to operate from. Somebody
is saying he attended the EDI training, but he could not hear anything because of network. Can't I join again tomorrow? That means you are paying twice. If you join again now tomorrow, it means you have paid. You are paying for the.
You are paying for 2 trainings.
Paying for 2 trainings. If you want access to the trainings, we have a link. There's a special link. Just remind me. We have a special link where you can have access to all the training materials. If you have attended it before, you can listen to all the trainings again. We have one of our members was able to get us something that we can listen to. So for those who didn't hear it very well, if you don't want to go and pay for a new one, we have something you can listen to. What about the challenges of network? They've said that there's a provision for offline, and then people can always go online later. You provide your own internet. I indicated 3 centers I would like to operate from. 2 in 2 different local government areas and 1 abroad. How do I go about this if I'm only allowed a center in 1 local government? Oliver Twist. Hello, sir. I can't hear you.
Well, if you have your money, if you are financing yourself, you can operate in as many centers as you can afford. But each center will be, processed individually. Outside Nigeria has no local government limitation. Just engage with us directly on that, and then we'll get you sort of. That's abroad now, has no local government limitations.
All these are abroad people. We need to close the conversation on them. We have a number of them.
We're here.
Okay, sir. Can one change location from another state to another, from one state to another, before commencing activity? Yes. What will we do with the machines after the whole program? You've already
people are being born every day. People are getting born every day. So it's not as if the population of Nigeria is going to stop. And of course, remember that this is a financial inclusion center. The national ID is the foundation to a lot of other things that will now become the day-to-day business. We're just building foundation for something much bigger.
When are we going to be trained on how to handle the equipment after when they're setting up? Is it possible to have a record of how many agents are applying for a local government in Ogun State? To consider local governments? No. Lagos State has local government areas and LCDAs. Are the LCDAs considered in the compilation of partners to locations? Yes.
Yes.
Can I enroll a day-old baby? Yes.
In actual fact, as of today, you cannot get a birth certificate if a national ID number is not provided for that child.
Wow.
That's what the law says as of today.
That means we can go and lock down General Hospital.
Yes.
Why do yes. Which local government can aggregator use? Because it's as if we're going to
treat you as a partner.
We're going to just give you a referee. You cannot do anything. Okay, can you confirm the bank loan? Yes, 5%. Can we register people who are not living in our local government? Who are in our local government on visit? Eh? Hello? Sorry, I think Mr. Shala's network has gone off a bit. I'll reserve that question for him. I don't know the answer to that one. Is there ever be an opportunity for someone in the future? There's an opportunity for people that have cash to pay and don't need the loan. For loan, I don't know. Welcome back, sir.
Okay.
Somebody says, if somebody comes to visit their local government, can they register in their local government?
Yes. Okay. You can register anybody as long as in actual fact, there's a provision for non-Nigerians. You can register foreigners as well.
Okay. Are we working based on LCDA or LGA? E.g., Alimosho LGA has several LCDAs under it. If you choose Alimosho, can you still work in all the LCDAs?
That's a very tough one. The truth is that the software recognizes LGA, but we're distributing based on LCDA in Lagos. So, it means that you can those within your LGA you can move around. In actual fact, Lagos is like about 200 that we provided for. So it's like a special center. We provided extra for Lagos and the surrounding cities in Ogun State.
The bank account details asked for. There's personal and there's business asked for. If you have filled the form, yes. You already have that. What of those of us that doesn't have accounts with their business name but individual names? Will you know be disbursed there? Yes.
Yes.
In the local government, are we going to be assigned where we cover, since no one person covers the whole local government, it's free for all, I think.
Within your local government, you can move around.
If the center is working perfectly and the chairman, director travel, won't there be disconnection, sir?
Travel to where?
Stay in
Where
your
will they travel to?
Can we,
I
as
don't understand that
individuals,
question.
can we as individuals have access to the business plan developed for us by the consultants?
Eventually, yes. There's a version of the business plan will be made available.
Okay. My location is Tejoso Market, Yaba, falls within two local governments, Surulere local government and mainland local government. I want to know if I can operate on both to have more patronage.
Are you standing on a railway line or something?
Madam Fetuga, if your location is in the midst of two local governments, you don't have any problem. Just be chopping boats, I think.
You are standing on the railway line, so
Is the loan not going to be paid into a NESA bank?
as at this moment, no. The disbursement will be to direct accounts made available. However, it's part of the conversations we're having. If they require accounts to be opened with NESA, we will find a smooth way of doing it for everybody.
Is there no chance that the exchange rate appreciates to below 400 naira, say 380? In such a situation, will the expected payment not reduce below it? Yes, it will reduce.
What's about 240 or something?
Yeah, the value of what needs to be done to meet the quota of 5,000 naira per day is very small. There's an opportunity to earn over 1 million naira over what is required. So if the dollar drops, if the dollar increases, it also increases. From the numbers I'm hearing, I'm not seeing how the dollar is going to reduce like that. Somebody is willing to exchange dollar for me today at 460 from the US. So I really don't know. Please, how much do I pay if I'm to raise the money by myself? 2.5 million.
Let's even say it reduces.
Okay.
It's still, the requirement is still very low.
Yeah. So if you reduce it to 200 naira self, it now means you need to do 25 per day.
Exactly. It's still very low.
What if the business account name is different from the registered name? Example, XYZ International in the account and the registered name is WXL International. Case by case. How do we charge on premium, sir? Is it based on individuals?
Special arrangement.
You are free to charge.
So you have to have gone to a company. You would have had an agreement with the company.
They'll pay you a flat fee for coming, and then they pay you per head. Please share the link or means to listen to the EDI lectures again. We'll do that privately within our groups. I really need to change my local government, sir. I got a better location in another local government than the one I picked before. No problem. You're anonymous. When you're ready, there's a window. If I can hear you well, does it mean that if I have done the EDI training, I don't need to join again? Yes, don't join again if you have done the EDI training. Otherwise, you pay again. Those of us are using a family business name. Can we still go ahead, or must we open a private business name? I really don't know the meaning of that. Just be consistent with the name you're using. Sir, does it mean that those of us who attend EDI training do not need to attend the one starting tomorrow again? You don't need to attend it again. If you have attended EDI training, you have attended EDI training, you are done. You get your certificate coming soon. When are we getting certificates, sir?
Yeah, you can use family business.
Someone is asking about EDI training certificates. When are we getting the EDI training certificates? Uh-oh, I think the internet has locked up again. I think you need to register people within the local government that you are assigned. Okay, the local government assigned. Hello, are you back, sir?
The link is not friendly today at all.
At all. It says we need 77. We need the 77 instances.
Back. The link is not friendly today.
Yeah, someone is asking that they need 77 instances for the NIN as marketing strategy. I don't know what 77 instances means.
Oh, okay. I was saying that national ID is now compulsory. One of them is JAM. But it's not even JAM. What it now says is that for you to partake in an examination in Nigeria, you must provide a national ID number. So JAM is one of them. WAEC is one. Every exam in Nigeria will now require a national ID number. For you to enter a plane, you must provide a national ID number. For you to acquire a property, but the common ones, your international passport, which is now in enforcement, your driver's license, your bank account, your telephone line. It's a long list. I can share that with you.
Okay, so that list will be shared. Someone says I live in Idimu, but hope to operate from tabs. Can I register people in my neighborhood or my church? Strictly your local government, the one that you have assigned to.
The one you've been assigned to.
So if you live in Idimu and your office is Yaba, the people in your environment need to come.
You can only enroll out of Yaba. You can't do it from home.
Please, regards local government registration, sir, does it mean that we alone register people that are local government indigene that are living in your local government?
No. Anybody living in there, whether they are from the south, north, anywhere, even foreigners.
Sir, take for example in Port Harcourt City area, how many staffs can I have in the office and in the field, considering it's a big local government area? As many as you need. If you have 2 equipments, then you probably just need like two per equipment. If Sola is working perfectly and the chairman director travel out of the country, I don't know what that means. Can we go and open accounts for our business name with Nesa Microfinance Bank? Don't jump the gun.
Just wait.
Is it everyone shortlisted now that are getting the loan, or there'll be another list? Everybody shortlisted now has been applied. Abi?
We submitted a loan for everybody that has been shortlisted. If you have a code, your details have been submitted as of today. Now, if you get dropped, is at the point where if they interview you, if they call you for interview, and you are stammering, you can't answer simple questions. Then, especially where you go to operate from, and then you start saying, you see, actually,
initially. So we may do another prep meeting for people before the interview. I mean, from TGM. So watch out for that as well, so that we can at least ensure that we all know what we're saying and we're speaking the same language.
Yes.
Can we do flyers to advertise our center? Of course. So does it mean that we can register primary school pupil? You can register infants.
From child.
You can register one day old baby.
From birth.
The only person you cannot register is the person that has not come out. Please. When are we expecting our EDI certificates for us that have done the training?
We have a training number for everybody as of today, which is what we needed to submit the loan application. The physical certificates will be printed in due course, but we're concentrating on getting the money out.
Fair enough. What are the likely questions at the interview? You share them with us.
We'll let you know. We'll share it before time. Yeah.
Can we know some of the key? Yes, it has been asked. Sir, please advise us how much we can pay our staff, and with the equipment available, how many manpower? 2 per equipment, and you can pay them how much? Depends on the location that you're in. If you're in the village,
it depends. Yeah, Lagos will be different from Ibadan, and it will be different from Kano.
Someone's asking, can we do radio jingle for our center?
It will not be necessary. It's like JAM. If you have a center, will you need to advertise to people that you can do registration? Most centers, once you start, that place becomes a bus stop. It immediately becomes a bus stop.
Okay, I think we've answered every question that was asked in the official question answering place today.
We've done 2 hours.
Yeah, and we've done 2 hours. So I think this more than covers what we need. I don't even know how easy it will be to upload this particular video, but we'll try all the same. Someone's asking, what if spouse relocates? Can the code and the machines be adjusted? I think on a case-by-case basis.
Yes.
But ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you got this very clearly, but this is a big opportunity. Would love it if everybody understands what they are doing so that we don't have any attrition from the level of interviews and qualification. I will be particularly delighted if out of our people, 280 of them can get approved. That means we'll have received a disbursement of about, at least with the equipment and the cash, that will be over 1 billion. That will be very exciting. It will be that we have 250 plus people empowered to do this, and then we will now drive internally and from here to ensure that if there's any agent to be proud of, it is the agents that have TGM in their name. So we know how we drive ourselves. If you're not fully on board with our normal team, you should be looking at how to integrate, because we want to drive, we'll drive this. Anything we do, we'll drive it, and we'll drive it well. It doesn't matter how many people are in the local government. If we're in the local government, if we need to do 300 names per day, we'll set the targets, we'll give awards, we'll do different things to instigate people and inspire them to do more. The money is yours. Yeah, but we'll try and drive for as much volume as we can drive. So I want to congratulate everybody who is here. The application has been made on behalf of everybody. It's taking like the plan, they paid the 2,000 naira that we paid was for 3 nights. It took them 10 nights. And I have pictures. I have pictures of different things happening until people are able to get through. This is now closed. This is going to be strictly based on people doing their interviews now, and if they qualify. And once we scale through with this, then centers open and action starts. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming today. It's been a pleasure. We've answered all the questions. Any other question that is lining up now is lining up for another time. So just know your local government, see yourself there. Now, and in case you don't get this, you are basically going out and registering people for free. So come, do you have your NIN? You don't have, register. Do you have your NIN? You don't have, register. You don't have, here's your slip, it's free. We are paid for that service. And then there's an extra payment you can charge for lamination, for different things. All of the files that were shared will be sent to us on our WhatsApp groups. If you have already missed one thing or the other, if your code didn't work, we need to confirm those codes now to find out if the names are on the list. If they are not there, it's gone and it's gone. Sir, I have one code. Somebody said he entered the code, he didn't get success message. He doesn't know.
I think the computer is complaining.
Yes. There's one person with the code 458 TGM that I need to confirm if the person is in or not. I don't know.
Share that with us. We'll check.
I'll share with you later. Yeah. Okay. Someone says I have a canopy tent house I use for NGO. Can it be used as a temporary address when CBN calls? It's better for you to tell CBN that you have a place you're considering that you have not gotten than to be presenting tent address. Yeah. So you can say you're waiting.
Very important.
You're waiting for disbursement to finalize on the place. You've already priced it. You already have the idea of who coach us on how to do that. But that's how we do that. Yeah. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for all your participation today. People are saying thank you. Mr. Sola, thank you very much again.
Thank God. Thank God.
Okay, so that's how much I'm going to have today. There are no other questions. Catch you at the TGM group. Have a beautiful night rest. Thank you, sir.
Okay, then. Good night, everyone.